Hannah and Christian had doctor's appointments today, and they had to get shots. So it reminded me of a Rocky IV movie, and then Christian wanted to see it. So we're over here watching Rocky IV, one of my favorites. But it reminds me of a story, so I'll tell you guys that in a second. So we're stopping at Krispy Kreme donuts. Today, if you buy a dozen donuts, you get an extra one for $1. It's like their birthday today, so I decided it's a fun thing to bring the kids to. Of course, it's more sugar, but you know, something I couldn't pass up.
Sitting by my father for 1,000,000 miles, picking up old stories on the ride. I've been counting shadows to the beat of the radio. I feel like a baby when I sleep, and then you come to me. If we can keep the fire burning till I'm coming home.
Good, bad? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Good. Hannah?
Good.
Good. All right.
Get the camera away from me.
3 for 3. So here's that story. About 8 years ago, in 2010, I decided to try to run a marathon. I decided to train for it. Go out there and something I've always wanted to do my entire life. So, and one thing I've learned in my life is if you put your mind to something, you can do it. It's hard though. And to run a marathon, you have to run 26.2 miles. Over 26 miles. Quick side note. Make sure you don't use the word marathon wrong. I've heard the word marathon so many times. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go run a marathon this weekend. And I find out it's a 5K or it's a 10K, which is only like 3 miles or 6 miles. A marathon is 26 miles. So when you see marathon or you hear that word marathon, a true full marathon is 26.2 miles. Try not to get that confused. It kind of drives me crazy. And any other marathoner that's run and they hear you misuse that term, I'm sure it drives them crazy too. It is not easy to do. And it's something you just can't go and try to go do it tomorrow if you haven't trained for it. You have got to put in months and months. Some people put years of training to try to run a full marathon. It is not easy. You've got to get up early in the morning, or you have to stay awake late at night. You're gonna have to find times to get it done. And that is what made a song in the first Rocky movie that's turned out to be my most motivational song. Most people would think, oh, I've got my most motivational song is in a Rocky movie. They might think it's Eye of the Tiger, or they think of like his last round when he's coming back to win the fight. This one is like the slowest song you may ever hear. But it reminds me of those days where I had to wake up, no one else was awake. I went out into the streets and nobody's there. There's no traffic in the area and it's just me and what got me out there to go run. And finally, when I finished that marathon, it made me think of those times of like crossing that finish line. I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for all those other times of training. And it made me prepared to be able to get through that entire marathon of 26 miles, which I was able to do. This is something my wife made. I'll get a better picture on that for you. I did it in 4 hours and 25 minutes. So if you do 26 miles and divide it by 10, it comes out to about 4 hours and 20 minutes. You have to add the 0.2 miles in there. Basically, I ran the marathon in about 10 minutes per mile. It's not real fast, but considering it's my first and my only marathon I've ever ran, I was pretty happy with that time. Okay, I'm out here doing my walk again, all right? Lighting's horrible, but I wanted to record this because there's some coyotes in the background making a lot of noise. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but I'll try to stay quiet. We'll see if you guys can hear it. I actually really enjoyed running so much that my group that I worked with, Austin Fit, they asked me to come coach the next year. And so I was able to get this hat about Austin coaching, and I helped coach a half marathon group for about, that was like 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months of just training, of going from 2 miles to 3 miles and then increasing it every single week, little by little, until they were ready to run a half marathon. I was able to finish that one as well. I tried to break this one in 2 hours, but I got like 2 hours and 8 minutes in the half marathon. So I have this medal as well. In fact, I could wear this one. Okay, you guys had to have heard it that time. I guess one of the nice things about living out away from the city is you get those kind of noises sometimes. So I actually kind of like it. Nice to get the sound of nature, how things are going. Gotta walk home now. Got about 2 miles to go. Wish me luck. But let me tell you a little bit about how this relates to life. A lot of times in life, we want to get something right away. We think if we put some time and effort into it real quick, we should be able to see results and be able to achieve our goal in a very, very short amount of time. That's not true. And it's not true in a lot of things in life. If something means something to you and something is valuable to you, you have to be willing to put the time in. You have to be able to go and study when no one else is seeing you. You have to be able to give things up to achieve that goal. And so at whatever you decide to do, luckily for me, I've done a lot of different things that I've had to use this mentality for. Whether it was going into teaching and getting a teaching certificate, going into real estate and getting my real estate license, learning how to drive a bus. I have no idea about mechanics, but yet I was able to finish that up. Learning how to go into sports industries and learning how to do others. There's so much out there that if you want to do something, you have to be willing to put your mind to it. Learn all of the things that you need to learn to make yourself successful, and don't expect it to happen right away. It's great if it does, but you need to put the time in. And if you put the time in and you put action to it, then that is what will create the results. And when you get results, you get motivated, and once you get motivated, then you come back to what you believe is possible, what you think will happen. So you have to be able to use this circle of just keeping yourself using action, seeing results, maintaining your beliefs, and thinking about what your end achievement is going to be. That's the thing of a marathon. Okay, so that'll wrap up this video. If you ever need motivation, it's called Philadelphia Morning and on the Rocky 1 soundtrack. You heard it here in this video, but listen to it. If you know that scene, it is extremely motivating. You can be in the middle of a run and I hear that music and it makes me want to run even faster. It is awesome song. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today. Remember, please be kind, stay patient. I like that one, staying patient. But it's actually be positive. Be kind, stay positive. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, I'm back towards some civilization. Got some street lights now. And I'm safe.